Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. And before we start off with the panel discussion and event, we have a surprise guest, Mr. Satish Kumar from Singapore, who will entertain us all with his magic skills. Over to you, Satish.
Hello, good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Great. Ready for some magic? Okay. So my name is, as generally introduced, my name is Satish. But in the magic world, I'm known by the name SK5. SK5. So remember this name. My name is? So if you ever forget my name, don't worry about it. Just look for my invisible name tag. Wow. So what's the most fascinating part about magic, and I'm sure that you know the profession that you guys are in, you travel the world in one way or the other. What actually has intrigued me about magic is alchemy, the ability to make gold out of any base metal. After 15 years in magic, I figured out that you can actually make gold out of paper. And I'm going to show you that. So, after going to a lot of places, I have figured out the best paper in the world of Japanese magazine papers. They're the most superior quality, and they have this very, very special ability to turn to gold. It's taken me a lot of time, a lot of research to do this. Very nice, powerful Japanese papers. And I want all of you now to watch very, very carefully. Because in the blink of an eye, this is going to change. Everything becomes dollars, and with dollars you can buy as much gold as you want. Thank you very much. The other thing that really fascinated me about magic is the ability of normal objects to really maneuver and change. So many years ago, I was at the Golden Temple in Amritsar, and I got this ring. It's cut out. That's right. You can check, make sure it's real. And if you don't mind, just check the rope, make sure it's a normal rope. So, so is there a hole in the cutter? In the ring? Is there a hole in the ring or anything that's broken? Yeah, I was looking for that. So, it so happened that I was watching magicians, how they perform. And two solid objects, a rope and a ring. Outside, two ends of the rope and the middle of the rope. All you do is pinch and the thing goes into it. Normally it's at this time that people applaud. So there was another magician who showed the same trick, but in a different way. He actually created a loop in the rope. A loop in the rope. Two ends of the rope. Two ends of the rope. Correct. Two ends of the rope, and all you do is pinch, and the rope goes inside. The ring goes inside the This is was the ring is now really inside the loop. Really inside the loop. Ends of the rope. Watch carefully. Ends of the rope. Ring is really inside the rope. Okay, the ring is really inside the rope. Now, if I put the ring in the center, pull the ends, the ring goes up. So the ring is really inside the rope. Unless you decide. Now, what people say is the best magic is the one that happens in the spectator's hands. But I would like to do something on a spectator's leg. So who's brave enough to come on stage and perform the ring and rope routine for me? So you don't have to do anything, you just have to stand on the rope. Oh, baby, we got all in. Everybody knows me. Laughing, what's your good name? Captain Vijay. So, you're going to perform the next part of the script. Not me, you try. So I help you along the way. So all you need to do is stand on the rope, okay? So you're going to be the eyes and ears of the audience now. So stand on the rope tightly so that I can't escape. Now, you watch if the ring is inside the rope. Hold the ring. Is it inside the rope? I'm holding the ends of the rope, right? So we will now loop the rope twice over. Okay? So this way, you hold it. Yeah, when you hold the ring, you can see it's pretty tight, right? Two loops again. Put in the center. There's enough. Yeah, hold the ends and leave the ring. So now I'm off. Okay. Ring is tight inside the rope. Now, what I want you to do is this. Think in your mind that the ring will come off the rope. Think, believe it will come out of the rope. It's very important you believe it will come out of the rope. You believe? You believe? You believe? Okay. If you believe, you can. You see, most of the time things don't happen because we have rigidity in our mind that things can't happen. And if you really want the impossible to happen, all you need to do is slightly let go your mind. Okay? So for like a short period, just just let go of the rope slightly. Like don't hold it tight, just let it go slightly. Okay. Not slightly. Let it go. Oh. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. So with that, I will perform one more magic, but I will need a few people on stage for that. So in magic, card magic is called the poetry of magic. Please come. Who was volunteering to come up on stage?
Few people are only one.
Yeah, there's one more. 4, 5 is good for this. Yeah, great, yeah. Okay. So you have to come over. So you can all stay like a semicircle. It will be easier for me to perform. That's okay. The more the merrier. So you can see all the cards, all the playing cards. So we're going to do. And what's your name, sir? I'm going to refer to the cards. You can say stop on the way. Yeah? On this card? Are you sure? This one? Pick this, don't look at it. Keep it in your pocket. Okay? I'm going to turn around, look the other way, show it to everyone, and then show it to the audience. Once you're done in family, then I'll come in. So, all right?
Sure.
Yeah, you can show, you tell them when you're ready.
It's a no, it's a.
Eight rows.
Eight of parts.
Just tell me once you're done.
Yeah,
Done? Okay. So it doesn't matter what card it is. Do you have it?
Yeah.
See? Okay. Just okay. Yeah, I'm going to say somewhere.
He's speaking.
Yeah. I'm not going to pick. I'm not going to find anything. Since you started this, I'm going to hold the different cards. And all of you on top. So there's one card which is your card, right? I'm going to try go in and find exactly your card. You elegantly come very close and both hands. And I'll go in and find your card. Don't let go of the head. Okay, don't go, let go of it. Stay there. You sneak in slowly. No. Joker, you said Joker, right? So I got the Joker. Now, all of you, do you feel cards in your hands? Do you feel cards in your hands? You don't feel cards in your hands? Do you feel cards? If I told you that when I took this Joker, I actually switched the entire deck out. You want? Actually, I have an entire deck. So I have no clue you're holding. Slowly, one by one, open your hands. So this entire deck has become plain and open. So transparent sheets, but in between the transparent sheets, somewhere you can see one card. Now, I told you in the beginning of this show that you need to know my name. So what's my name? Escape, right? But you know, before you even chose that card, magically, my name was changed to the Jack of Claws. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Satish. I'm not sure if I should call you SK5 or Jack of Class, but it was thoroughly entertaining.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I have to thank Captain Zabir here for organizing this event, and it's really good to be back on stage as your MC and your host this evening. I can promise you I'm not doing another magic show here, but I do have a question to ask. How many of you believe that you are currently in 2024? Simply raise your hands. Okay. So the rest, I see two. Any more who still believes that you are in 2024? Three. Great. So the rest do believe that you have time traveled, right? And that's exactly what we are seeing here today. Because through all the hard work and through all the skills that you have invested in, and through all professional development, skills that you have invested in, you have actually time traveled. So without any further ado, I would like to invite our moderator for today, Mr. Krishnan Subramanian, and he's probably living in his 20s, 70s right now. That's truly because of his futuristic outlook, and he's an idea machine, and he's a strategic advisor at Transport Group and head of professional development at the ICS Middle East, and our ICS Global Vice Chairman as well, and my dear mentor. Thank you so much.
evening, all of you. Good evening. Good to be back here and almost a full house. Right? So let's start by inviting all the other fellow panelists over here, and then we get started, rather than me introducing them in a traditional way. So, Kevin Zari, representing Nautical Institute. Mr. Vipin Vaidyanathan from Blue Ocean Corporation. Mr. Madhu from DSAA, Dubai Shipping Agents Association. And Dr. Meena from Vista. So, warm welcome to all of you. Right, so welcome all of you here, and today's topic, as you've all seen in the flyers and over the screen here, it's something which all of us grapple with sometimes, based on what we undergo, based on what our organizations put through, or what we go through personally, invest ourselves in continuous education. We sometimes find that there's a lot of action which is being done, and there's a lot of information which is being gathered. But at the end of the day, we look at the effectiveness of what is happening in terms of those actions. We look for that, the particular effectiveness, the return on investment of time and money which is happening. And we find different models of continuous professional development, whether it's through a professional body or through an educational institution. And especially for all of us who are already into our professions, we look for that continuous learning, which is very much required in today's world. So one of the management experts say that what got us from point A to point B, even as a company, as an organization, or as an individual, will not help us to get from point B to point C in terms of the growth. That was again history today. Today, even if we have to continue where we want to be, even to maintain the status, it's something where we have to continue to invest, continue to learn, and continue to re-engineer and rediscover our ways of working. So with that kind of an importance, today we have an esteemed panel here, a diverse panel, representing institutes which are continuously or already focused fully on training and development. And then we have professional bodies like Nautical Institute, Dubai Shipping Agents Association, and Vista, and of course the ICS, where we will talk about and discuss about this as to how each of us look at CPD within our respective organization. What is something, which, and again, we would like to hear views from you, because that's going to be much more important in terms of how you view it within your organization, whether it's the working environment or wherever you are placed now, or your own business. What are some of the challenges which are being faced, and how can we address them, right? So, let me get started. So Madhu, so if you can quickly introduce yourself and also talk a little bit about what is the domain of the Dubai Shipping Agents Association, and how do you relate, especially for your members, your membership organization. And when you talk about continuous professional development for them, what are some of the activities where you ensure that your members get their value on CPD?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy to be here. And let me just talk about the Dubai Shipping Agents Association first. Just to give you a brief, and I'm sure you're aware of this, but I'll just briefly touch on what the Shipping Agents Association does. We are a non-profit organization. We've got about 110 or 120 member companies. And we basically are an association representing the agency, and of course we do have surveyors, forwarders, but mainly primarily we are an industry body. Main purpose being to interact with trade bodies, with the local authorities, with the ports, especially the ports, customs, immigration, coast guard, the maritime authority, chamber, and so on and so forth. So the value add is basically when a member company faces a problem with any of the authorities, or when they face an operational issue. Now, CPD is, of course, one of the important aspects that the DSA tackles, considering the fact that change is inevitable. And we all want to grow wiser as we grow older. And we all aspire to contribute more to the respective organizations that we work for. And we want to, the element of personal development is also there. So CPD is one of the focus areas for DSA, has always been for the last 10 or 20 years. DSA organizes seminars, workshops. We have a very popular event called Meet and Greet, where all the government bodies come in. So members can come in, raise the relevant industry topics. So the aim is to basically ensure that members and the staff working in the membership stay relevant to the times. So you update yourself with the current issues. We hold or we have classes for the latest legislations, the regulations as and when they happen, customs circulars. So we have discussions on all these from time to time. Of course, apart from the networking sessions. And in fact, I think today we had one of the sessions by Mr. Krishnan. It was a full day session on IMDG, which was again a very, very relevant topic in today's times. Now, the whole purpose being that we want the staff to be updated, staff to be taught and kept updated with the relevant operational issues. There are quite a lot of changes which happen on a daily basis. So, and I think DSL contributes quite a lot. And in fact, we also work together with ICS and the other associations.
Thanks for that, Madhu. So moving, Dr. Meena, so you represent Vista and UAE, and this is an organization which actually connect you along with your colleagues, and the others in your community, how it has grown in the UAE and also globally. Being a global board member of the ICS, I get to see and meet people, especially from other organizations around the world. So first of all, congratulations to Vista on the commendable achievement. So let's give a round of applause, please. So quickly, if you can introduce what is Vista, and I had one of our colleagues from ICS who just mentioned I've been trying to contact Vista, who's the right person. She's going to be right on stage here. So if you can quickly introduce what Vista stands for, what your main objectives are, and I know in the global level you've got fantastic aspirations and a good action plan there. And when it comes to your members, of course, we find that most of us are part of different organizations, which is good. It brings in that different flavor. We get value from different aspects. So therefore, how are you addressing the needs of your members in terms of continuous education?
Okay, first of all, thank you to
recognizing Vista and having us here among all these people. It's my privilege to actually introduce Vista. Vista is, first of all, Women in Shipping and Trade Association. It's an international, it's a global organization that serves as an advocate for women's advancement within the shipping, trading, and logistics sector. It has a global presence with 56 branches across various countries, and each of those branches are called National Vista Associations. We have a network of 3,800 female professionals. All of them are guided by Vista International. For 5 decades, Vista has successfully promoted and encouraged women in shipping and transportation by fostering a network of highly skilled women leaders and is committed to developing a more inclusive and diverse landscape by attracting and championing women in this traditionally male-dominated industry. Vista provides skill building opportunities through regular workshops, seminars, conferences, social gatherings, mentorship opportunities, corporate visibility, and facilitates connections within the industry. The world has been impressed by how Vista has continuously prioritized both the development of new talent and the importance of giving back to the community as a whole. Empowered women have better mental health and greater resilience, and are more likely to be positive role models and encourage mental well-being in their colleagues, friends, children, and the next generation. When women are empowered, they contribute to economic growth, education, and healthcare improvements. In the UAE, we have organized several notable events, but one of the most significant was the occasion attended by Her Royal Highness Princess Anne. This event, conducted in collaboration with the Mission to Seafarers and DP World, focused on mental health and well-being of female seafarers. So as a Vista organization, our priorities really are professional development by increasing competency, sharing best practices, information, contacts, and experiences. Building a global network by creating global business relationships in the maritime, trading, and logistics sectors. Of course, mainly we try reducing the gender gap. Vista proudly supports the advancement of women in leadership roles. We also have strong partnerships and take pride in our international partnerships and collaborations with various organizations, having established MOUs with ICS, the Nautical Institute, and the Mission to Seafarers. We are currently in discussion with ICS to explore opportunities for discounts on workshops and courses, as well as to expand the number of scholarships available for international diplomas. We can be contacted, as you have just said, Krishnan, on info@vistauae.com or membership@vistauae.com. We have people here who are from Vista. We have Chris here, we have Liana here, and I've got lots of nice ladies here who any of you can come and approach, and we are more than happy to help you to come and join us. We are also a non-profit organization, and we believe that the day we stop learning, I think no matter what age it is, I think there is always something to learn. And the more you learn, I think the more wiser you become, and the more you can give to society as well.
Thanks for that. intro about the organization, look for some new things which I learned about this Saturday. Thanks for that. Captain Sari, welcome to last, you know.
Save the best for the last.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Mr. Vipin, so welcome here, and you bring a completely different flavor to this whole discussion today. Uh, Being an organization who's been delivering training programs with ties with major accreditation bodies, including APEC, CILP, etc. And I've seen the growth of Blue Ocean, you know, the last 25 years, how they started as they grown. So you're doing something extremely right in terms of how you're managing this whole thing, the kind of clientele you have as individuals and companies, and the way you've grown, you're spread over with multiple offices in India now, and in Saudi Arabia, in London, and of course in other places which I'm not aware of yet. So tell us a little bit about what the main aspects where you focus on. I know your domain is planning, supply chain, logistics, and purchasing, and and how is it that you're able to cater to this particular aspect of professional certifications? Thank you.
Sure. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for having me here today. I'm the only person from the non-shipping background. But yeah, as Mr. Krishnan rightly said, Blue Ocean has been doing something very different right from the time our founders, incorporated this company 25 years ago. And I was definitely not part of the team at that point, but what I hear is that there was this oil and gas boom in the Middle East, and there was a huge demand for procurement and supply chain and logistics and transportation professionals those days. But there were hardly any people available with the right skill sets and the right knowledge and the right expertise. And this is where they actually saw the opportunity to kind of cater to that segment of the industry. And apparently what used to happen is most of the organizations were managing with people from accounts, people from operations, people from sales and marketing, and just putting them into these jobs. And obviously they would end up struggling, they would not know what to do, and performance would take a hit, people's motivations would take a hit. So that is where they kind of said that there's a clear need for professional education in this space. And that's where Blue Ocean started 25 years back. And it's very interesting because when they started training and certifying people, and again, the certificates that were issued were not from Blue Ocean. We were only the knowledge provider, but the certifications were actually being issued by international bodies, independent bodies, like Mr. Krishnan mentioned, ASCM or IPACMI or CMI or PMI, depending on the program or depending on the program or the curriculum. We partnered with different internationally recognized certifying bodies. So that helped in two ways. One is it helped us with getting the best content which was relevant for that field. And two, it also gave a lot of value to the participants, not only in terms of getting the knowledge, but also increasing their value in the market. Because rather than they going and saying that I've attended a supply chain program from a relatively unknown entity called Blue Ocean, they actually get a certificate from an independent, international, globally recognized certifying body. So that really worked in kind of growing this business. And as more and more professionals started getting certified and going back to the industry, they started trying to make changes or transformation in their organization. And they actually struggle with it because just by attending a 4-day program or an 8-day program or a 15-day program, you could not actually learn how to apply those learnings in your area of work. So then they came back to us and then asked us, can you help us with this? We have this operational challenge. We're struggling with this. Our operating cost is very high. Our turnaround time is very high. Our customer satisfaction is taking a hit. Stuff like that. operational issues, they came back to us and said, can you help us? Because most of our faculty are not academicians. They are not people who have been teaching all their life. They are practitioners. They're people who work in the industry. They have real life exposure. So they would always take examples in the class, and that would make the participants come back to them for guidance, for coaching, for mentorship. And that's where we kind of diversified into consulting. And we started offering that as a service because we started getting a lot of inquiries from corporates saying, okay, you've trained our people, but now can you guide them on how to apply this knowledge, right? And that's where this whole, CPD kind of element, excuse me, comes in. Because as Mr. Krishnan, alluded in his introduction, that unfortunately, the whole learning space has just become like a check in the box, right? People have this wrong notion that if they just go and get a certificate from a reputed body and update their LinkedIn, they will actually end up going in their career or getting better jobs. And that's the most unfortunate part, and that's where we are trying to differentiate ourselves, because we try to customize our delivery, especially with corporates. We try to customize our delivery by first understanding their business, understanding their specific needs. So whenever someone comes to us saying, we want to put our people through a procurement training, for example, the first question we ask them is, why? What is it that you're expecting out of this program? You're going to spend so much money and send 10 of your senior people for a 8-day program. What is the outcome you're expecting from that? And that's where the story starts, because then they start saying, oh, we are hoping that our operations will improve, or something will change. And then we tell them, okay, it's not really that easy, because these people are going to just come, attend the training, enjoy the good food, and then very soon they're going to go back and forget whatever they learned. So we don't stop the learning process in the class. We actually take it back to your organization, right? And we follow it through periodic checks. We make sure that they're actually applying that learning, and we can show you the ROI. So whatever money you're investing for your learning, we can actually show you probably 5 times or 10 times the return in X amount of time. And that's where I think we've kind of been able to differentiate ourselves very successfully, and we've been able to show value to our customers. And even though we started this with corporates, we very quickly adapted this also to our individual learners. So we train close to 1,000 people every month, and we run about 30 to 40 different certification programs from different certifying bodies. So we've kind of now, very recently, about 3-4 years back, we've started applying the same logic to individual learners. When someone approaches us and says, I want to do this program, we ask them why. And invariably they say, oh, my friend did it, and he said it's very good. And I'm like, is that why you want to do it, or is it because you actually see this aligning with your career path? So what is the end goal you want to achieve? Where do you want to go 3 years from now, 5 years from now? A lot of people want to change.
Sorry to stop you there, Vince. If you can hold the thought on the individual learning part, we'll definitely come back to that.
Yeah.
Because you touched upon a very important point in terms of ROI, right? Because ultimately, whether you're paying a membership fee for a particular organization or investing in education, that's something which all of us look for, right? In terms of, is it relevant for me? Is it relevant for my career? Is it relevant for my business? Is it relevant for the business? So from an individual point of view also, I'll come back to that point. So Captain Zali, so with respect to, first of all, I'd like you to give us a brief about Nautical Institute, how it has grown, and what are the couple of the value-added certifications or programs which are being done for the members and for the wider industry, and where is the institute going now in terms of further plans?
Thank you very much, Krishnan. We've got next committee member, Meena, on my right. So the first myth about the Nautical Institute, which I want to shatter, is that it's not a captain's club. It is not only for people who are navigators, so it's called the Nautical Institute. It is open to everybody who is involved with shipping. Yes, the Nautical Institute represents the seafaring community, and because of the ISM code, the seafaring community and the office is so closely linked, we would like to let everybody in this room know that the Nautical Institute is not a seafaring only community, and membership is open to all. I'm not only representing the Nautical Institute, I'm also representing the Maritime Law Association of UAE. I'm one of the founding members, not a lawyer. Again, there's a myth about the Emirates Law Association. It is not only for lawyers. Anybody who is related to claim, I'm not a lawyer. I'm a founding member of the organization. So these are the two hats I'm wearing today. Coming back to Krishna's questions about learning, the Nautical Institute has got courses which are run out of UK. In UAE here, which is the first branch out of UK which was ever established out of interest that was in the region. We've been still running the branch. I've recently been elected as the chairman of the local branch at the Nautical Institute, and I can assure you, learning is at the center and the core of the institute. We have monthly programs which have visiting faculty, visiting professionals coming. Some of them are local. We have these specifically at the Seafarers Club because the Seafarers Club is a place where the seafarers come and the revenue goes back to the seafaring community. So it's a non-profit making, non-governmental organization, has a voice in IMO, and we are, as Nautical Institute, very much involved in knowledge sharing, network building, and giving back to the community, to making people who sit ashore and make decisions for seafarers realize what it takes for. I've spent 14 years and seen myself, and I know how hard it was not knowing who's there ashore to support. So here's something that we would like to tell everybody and remind them as an Nautical Institute. As far as learning goes, every time I sit in a conference or I prepare myself for being up on the podium, I look at it as saying, what have I got out of this evening or this day that I've attended? So please go back and write to us or to Natasha saying, one or two nuggets that you have got out of this evening. That's plenty. If you have actionable points out of today's evening's discussion and you'll reciprocate that back to us, each one of you all, 100 odd who signed up. I personally think it's not in the numbers, not about what you listen, but one or two actionable points which you'll pick out of whatever we say, remember it and respond back is a real value for the CPD. Because you meet colleagues, you get to hear a lot of viewpoints, but action points going back home is so important. A lot of times we don't think about it from the point of implementing knowledge. And Vipin was very correct in saying that you kind of recollect what you say, you show them what value you've got. And here's somebody who's actually made money out of imparting knowledge. We're all here trying to give back to the industry, but that's my little introduction. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Very crisp and to the point and effective as usual. Thank you for that. One of the main challenge which I've seen, because I'm involved in a lot of the education institutions as well, directly as a faculty as well as the ICS benefit for partnerships, and where the programs in those universities are vetted by ICS, where they get exemption for some of the papers of the ICS. So, in conversation with them for the last, especially changing scenario in the last couple of years, there's a huge concern out there in terms of while we see there are a lot of new courses which are there, many of them launching MBAs every day. Today also I got one more flyer from Captain Green, in terms of telling that there's one more maritime MBA being launched by IIT Chennai, right? So apart from IIT Mumbai also, who launched a program this 3 months back. So why do we see there is a huge rush out there in terms of institutions, including premier institutions, whether it's in India, here, or the rest of the world, launching new programs. Again, very big attention, or there's a huge rush towards maritime, shipping, logistics kind of programs, because suddenly post-COVID, everybody realized that we are the most important people in this world. Right? So there's a huge concern out there in terms of the quality of the graduates. You know, and I'm not talking about any particular this thing. An overall, and this is what I hear directly from the educational institutions themselves. They are struggling. Couple of reasons there. If you want to look at root causes in terms of the relevance to industry requirement, because ours is an industry which is very dynamic, which is changing very fast. External influences, including geopolitics, are there to stay in different forms. And therefore, the kind of relevance which needs to go back, even for a working professional, is very high. That's number one. But number two, how can this be translated back into the classroom? That's something which they're struggling with. In terms of even upgrading their own faculty or getting faculty from the industry, that itself is a challenge. Because to be honest, teaching is not the best paying profession. If you want to take it as a profession, therefore people, even though they have the knowledge, they look at it as a second choice. And therefore, that comes back into our, onto us. That problem comes back to us who are recruiting these graduates, where much more time has to be invested again in whether it's through internships or trainings or induction programs, or then put them through those certification programs. So from that point of view, Madhu, have you heard or how do you collect this kind of feedback from your member companies as to what is their pain point when they're looking at whether it is a fresh graduate who may be holding an MBA degree or something even who is relatively fresh in the industry, just 1 or 2 years of experience. What kind of challenge are they facing and how do you address that?
You've actually hit the nail on the head. You see a lot of institutes coming up with new programs of late. But the root, if you look at the root cause, we did not have specific tailored courses earlier on. And very limited options were there. The industry today has a big challenge in training students who have theoretical knowledge, but the requirements of the industry are very, very different. And as you just mentioned, it's so true that things are changing every day. There are disruptive changes happening, and you need to acknowledge and update skills accordingly. And that's where I think, yes, apart from Blue Ocean, all the other non-profit, we can't talk about the ROI. We really don't have anything to show the ROI on paper. Now, be it ICS, DSA, we were not in the business of trading. But I think the singular purpose of all these organizations are to raise the bar, basically to upskill the staff, create an environment where people come in, get trained, and contribute back to the employer and the society at large. So we go back to members. What the BSc does every year, I think we do a bit of talk with the members, find out what they want, and then accordingly we tailor our programs. And then conduct, of course, we do not invite academicians, but we are, now our courses are very popular, where practitioners from the industry come in and discuss problems. It's more of on-the-job training rather than the academic certifications.
Great. Thanks, Madhu, for that. So Dr. Meena, if I were to put the same question to you, in terms of, yes, you have individual members. I know that this has moved into company membership yet. You
We do.
So that's also already there. So how do you really get to know? Because ultimately today's day, where you really need to cater to what the audience wants. You know, the age of downloading information and just listen to what I know or what I want to tell you is gone. So therefore, ROI can be in different forms. Need not be just a monetary term. Can be measured in so many ways. So how do you look at your members' requirement and then reach out to global resources? Because again, we live in a highly interconnected world, especially in shipping and logistics, and therefore it's extremely important that we always bring that global perspective into what we do.
From my perspective, I think mentoring is something that is essential that I think organizations like we do, which, see, you can be, I give you my own example. I did my master's in law. I've done everything you can think of, but I actually started learning is when I started working, putting my knowledge into practice. And that is full credit to my boss. I mean, I'll never forget my first boss. It's because of him where I am today. So I think what education is very necessary, but I think practical experience and having people, I mean, that is what I think as Vista we'd like to do is we have senior people who can help people who are starting to grow in the industry, not just in training them, mentoring them, showing them the right direction, and also helping them to get into organizations like ICS and things where they can actually learn practical ways of doing it. You know, book knowledge is very good, but how do I put this book knowledge into practice is the most important thing. And unfortunately, you know, when it comes to companies, I've always worked for very big international organizations. Whenever there is a cut in budget, the first thing that gets cut off our budget is training budget, which is very, very sad. But that is the reality of the world because that is not of the biggest importance when the company is not in doing very well. So I think putting all of this together, having people and having organizations such as this, giving practical experience and knowledge sharing is, I think, the best way forward, according to me.
Thank you, Dr. Meena, for that. That's a very important point in terms of training budgets, and I have seen this myself in organizations or hear from people. Added to that, one of the major challenge which I have seen today, especially post-COVID, because COVID has structurally changed a lot of things in the way we work, in the way work from office, work from home, how that has been interpreted. Many companies went completely into work from home concepts, including the recruitment currently says that yes, this is remote working, etc. And one of these spillover of that syndrome is into training as well, right? So today, you need to get somebody in the classroom for 20 or for a full day of 8 hours. It has become a challenge, right? Because ultimately there is no replacement for face-to-face training. There is no replacement for a session like this where we interact and our energies interact. There is no substitute for that. We can do online. Yes, there's a convenience. There is a cost factor. There is more convenience there. However, when we want to get people, or even if they are there physically, they are under pressure in terms of managing the day-to-day job, their desk job, and then as well as in this training, because many of them are just told, yes, go and do this training because it's a thing in the box, right? So coming to you, Mr. Vipin, I will put it in a different way in terms of the previous question which were addressed to DSA and Vista. Is when you look at these programs in terms of yes, those are all in terms of professional ones. You have not entered into academics. How do you see that connection? Do you have any collaboration with universities where you see that you're able to add value there, or you're able to see the gap which is there and then supplement it with professional programs, which ultimately caters to what the industry really requires?
Absolutely. So, I mean, to be honest, we've been surviving and growing because universities are not really doing a good job, right? And yes, while we try to partner with them and collaborate with them, but they are also our competitors in a sense. Because the sad part is, in whatever markets we operate in, be it Middle East, be it India, be it Europe, what we are consistently seeing is that even though there are specialized programs available, both at the undergraduate and postgraduate level, which specialize in industries like supply chain or procurement or maritime or shipping or logistics or transportation, whatever you call it. The course curriculum, as you rightly mentioned, is so outdated and not relevant that invariably the students who have completed their undergraduate or postgraduate program specializing in a particular subject end up coming to institutions like us to take a professional certification in the same subject. And they do that because they find this curriculum more relevant and more up to date and in sync with the industry. Right? And that's the most unfortunate part. I've been in a very awkward conversation with the dean of the university in India, where he kind of challenged me saying, what is it that you guys can teach, which I am not already teaching my students? And when I actually shared the curriculum with him, he fell off his chair because we were just offering a 134-hour, foundation program in that particular subject, and that was more extensive than what they were teaching in a one-year MBA, to their students. So that's the unfortunate part, and that's clearly a gap.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So that's a gap which unfortunately is widening, and therefore there is a sort of responsibility on all organizations like ours, and including the non-for-profit ones, where we are industry bodies, we are professionals who are still practicing in the industry, and we're able to articulate it back into a classroom, whether it's a short program, whether it's a day's training, or whether it's a longer kind of a program which needs to be delivered in educational institutions. Captain Sari, I want to give a different kind of sort of question to you in terms of, because you're the master mariner here on the panel. A lot of change happening in that front as well. On one side, we find that in terms of trained, competent, seagoing personnel, it's a shortage. On the other hand, you've got a lot of institutions coming up with pre-sea courses. I was shocked to see a list just last week. There are 78 colleges in India offering pre-sea courses, 78 of them. And most of them are not doing well. Struggling. Some of them who are directly involved in ship owning or ship management, where they have a captive demand, they are the ones who are doing well, because again, they bring back relevance directly into their campuses. But more than that, there is another sort of, it could be good in one way or bad. The way you look at it is that the average period of somebody having the life at sea, you had 14 years. If I go around the room with other master mariners here, probably you would say 20 years or 25 years. But what I learned recently is that average has come down to about 11.5 years now, where most of the master mariners, come in, or they become a chief engineer, they do their initial sailing for a couple of years, and they get back ashore. And this trend is continuing, it is growing, which actually compounds an existing issue in terms of where are they going to find their jobs in the commercial front or in technical management or in this. And how is this being addressed in the seafaring community? And what are your thoughts about how we as professional organizations contribute and add value?
Yeah, you touched on two aspects. One is the entry point and the exit point of the seafaring tenure. Yes, smarter ones now quitting sea much earlier. The dinosaurs, with all due respect, Peter, I know you were staring into my eyes, have stayed for longer at sea. I think that's the right thing to do. You reached a certain peak, you plateaued in once you're a chief engineer or master. Of course, there is learning. Every port is a learning. Every country you go to, every individual, every new strait you navigate, there is something to learn. But that said, there's a lot of potential. I'm talking about the exit right now. A couple of years in command is plenty to understand the job, get the confidence of leadership, and come ashore and start again. I mean, when I came up and took up a surveying job with the company in Sharjah, I looked at my wife and said, I'm going through my cadetship again. I did my MBA during those 3 years of my contract and came out of it and set up Constellation. What I'm saying is, you got to have a lifelong learning mindset. And like Vipin correctly said, those days of a year, 3 years, 2 years, MBAs are now becoming a year long. That's enough. You don't need to learn what you do. You need to find out where to learn. Thanks to Janani, she knows what I'm going to talk about. Our son did a module in his master's program, which he completed this summer in automation and robotics. And one of his credits was AI in marketing. And he's literally spending 2 hours on weekends in my office and giving guidance to my team. And there is a lot of ripple effect of that. He says, I don't need to stay in the office for long. So the duration of learning and delivering the points are reducing. So whatever you could do I mean, I'm a champion of 20 minutes, 15 minutes talking and keeping it short and simple. So saying that I'm talking too much already. But to the point is key because nobody wants to listen to garble. Courses have to be short, they have to be practical, they have to have something to take home. And to give you an example, 2 hours he comes on weekends, he gets paid for the day when he comes in to help out our team. And that's enough, that's already plenty because he gets feedback during the week. He says, I'm putting in those 8 hours. If you want me to come in the office on weekends, guiding them along the way. I think that is the take home. I think short courses, practical courses are key. Coming to your question about pre-seed training, I think 78 is plenty. It's just because there are so many people wanting to come out and see the opening salary of a third officer. They come out self-lucrative and like so. Bottleneck is employment. Everybody gets them onto the pre-seed training, but how many get on board? We have to do something about those numbers. So I think the training and pre-seed has to be licenses are given with a caveat of saying you should get 50% of those coming into your courses to be employed. If DG Shipping in India puts that as a criteria saying you train 100 this month or this 6 months, whatever it is, 50 should get jobs at sea. If that criteria comes in, I think the training institutes will start putting their heads together and finding employment for those who complete pre-seed training courses with them. So that's my point of view about ins and outs of seafaring world.
Thanks, Kevin. Only you could give that insight in the panel. Before I open the floor to the audience for some questions, I'm sure that there are many who are looking at your expression and have questions brewing in your mind. And we'd really like to hear from you, from your own company perspective and individual perspective as to how and what you would really like to see the organizations do for you. But before that, and open-ended question here. How would you see the value of collaboration between professional bodies, not-for-profit organizations, where all of us have this, apart from our objective, there's a core objective which is there and from why it was formed, is that value back to the members. For example, ICS, if you look at it, it's education and membership as the core. But when we have evolved, we have diversified and looking at multiple different programs, understanding shipping is just one of them. corporate bespoke programs as we speak. There are many of them which are being delivered, and it is evolving based on the feedback which we receive from the industry. So collaboration, yes, there are many collaborations which we have entered into. Wisdom at a global level, meeting in the global world, I can say that yes, there is a proposal already which we are discussing to enhance the scholarship, the number of scholarships which have been given for advanced diploma globally. So how do we think we can take this forward and make it a bit more optimal, a bit more effective? Because ultimately the industry is the same, the number of people who are out there is the same, what they need is the same, which we know in terms of individuals who need placements to start with, good jobs to start with, career advancement, mentoring. It's very clear an organization that's written by people in terms of they are looking for the right kind of skills to support the fast-paced change or cope with the fast-paced change out there in the world. So what are your thoughts anyway? How can we take these collaborations forward?
I think collaborations are very important and also extremely good because I would say that, we collaborating with ICS has helped us, because we are there to help our members to evolve and also this helps you as well as helping the community at large. It's not just our organizations. At the end, what we can give back to the fraternity is also important, and I think collaborating is extremely good. Like I attended a couple of events in the past few months of DSA, and frankly, even I found it so interesting, and because you have to keep learning. Every day there is changes in local laws, bylaws, things. So DSA has good contacts with the port authorities, with other people, bringing them there to actually express, the difficulties that agents have and trying to see how they can improve. All of this, I think, collaboration is extremely important, and as a whole, we are helping the industry, not just for our own organizations. This is my view, but.
I don't think,
Just to add to what Meena just mentioned, the target audience of shipping and logistics, space is a very small industry. So I think we are targeting the same group, and there is an overlap, and that's where the collaborations come, where associations like us can work together, and the ultimate aim is to raise the bar of the industry. It's not about a specific individual or a specific company. We want the industry to think alike, come up, find new solutions. AI is one of the things that's, I think, we're trying to look at applying AI across industries. We've seen that in the shipping and logistics space as well. So I think the aim is common. We all want to train people to contribute more effectively. It's about raising the quality of the work that you do. And in fact, that helps you in having a better quality of life as individuals as well.
Yeah, Mr. Reed, I know that you're really working your magic to not only through SKFI, but also through various institutions which you represent. So that includes sporting activities as well. There's a lot of collaboration with NC. So when do we take this? How do we take this forward?
Well, first of all, I forgot to mention this much earlier. Ruben will put up the link. Whatever we are discussing is not only in this room. It's going viral as we speak. We didn't mention it earlier because half of you all might not turn up in this room. So whatever we are speaking is out live. So if you want to share it, the link will come up on the screen. And while we're at it, thank you, Ruben. Thank you, Natasha. Alicia is there. Thank you for doing a fantastic job. I know we've not thanked you enough in the past. But again, look at his testimonial in our organization and as Nautical Institute. Years ago, when I was involved in a business networking breakfast group, a couple of words caught my attention, which was the theme of that institution. It was givers gain. So when we give knowledge or when we give anything back to the community, there is a lot that we get back. It may not be visible, it may not be apparent, but when I prepare for a particular presentation or when I was reading about what I'm going to bring value to those who are going to listen, there are a few things which stand out. And I research a lot. I learn a lot when I'm preparing for this. There's a lot of gain I already have achieved when I agreed to come up on the panel. And likewise, I'm sure Ina and our fellow panelists have. I know Krishnan himself teaches himself a lot to deliver a lot of professional development courses. So I personally feel it all comes back in multiple folds. As a consultant, as a surveyor, and as a mastermind, in any which ways, a lot of people expect that we expect you to know a lot about shipping. So you have to keep a straight face and say, I'll get back to you. I think I know the answer, but can I come back to you? When I say that, I must have said it. Saida is listening here. She calls me every now and then. If you're not a Vista member, please sign up. And it comes back in multiple folds. First of all, you have to be to welcome questions. You have to be having a bit of a demeanor about yourself that people may call you if you're a Karu's guy. If you're a stuck-up guy in your face, you might not have people call you to ask. So it's a very important aspect. I think giving back and preparing yourself, you get a lot of gain. Givers gain, you must have heard of it from United. And this is, I think, stuck, and we have to work, each one of us, the more senior you get, the more you should have that duty of giving back. The better the industry becomes around you, those who know you, the better level of conversation you have. People not ask you about strange things which sometimes you don't have answers for. You say, you shouldn't be talking to me. Okay, thank you. That's it.
Thanks for that, Captain Z. Very important point. So, any institute, as I mentioned, people look for the ROI. And an interesting conversation, excuse me, recently with a member from South Africa, mentioning that he said, and because institute also has got a provision of being a retired member, if you're not active in the industry, but you still want to be part of the industry, you can become a retired member as a lesser annual fee, right? So this person says that I want to be there so that I want to contribute back. First of all, I want to be in touch with the industry by being part of the institute. And the second is, I feel valued when I'm asked to at least come and talk to a group, not for any monetary gain. I can prepared to do it free, whether it's at a local chapter or it's an international, and I could connect him to the right people in the global education community and just start contributing. So that's the kind of the spirit which exists. So quickly, Mr. Vipin, so on the aspect of collaboration, so how do you think that a company or corporation like Blue Ocean, who are in that domain in terms of running it as a commercial venture, how can we collaborate? Yes, ICS, we have signed an MOU with you specifically for the Saudi market because they've established an office there and that's a growing market. And therefore, from a shipping point of view, in fact, today I was in a talk with one of the universities there in Saudi, and the kind of response or the kind of demand which is coming there is huge. So is there anything more which you think that we should do or we should collaborate where we ride on the USPs of the individual organizations and create more value for the industry?
Yeah. So on the collaboration front, I would talk about it in three pillars. So one is the collaboration that we do with a lot of not-for-profit institutions that own the frameworks or the knowledge. So institutions like PMI, EPICS or ASCM, or CFTI or SIPs. There are a lot of these global not-for-profit bodies which have a wealth of knowledge and expertise that we are sitting on, and we collaborate with them to bring the best content to our clients. That is one. Second is we partner with a lot of associations and not-for-profit bodies like ICS and so many others in different parts of the world. Wherever we operate, we have these kind of collaborations so that we can reach out to the right people from the corporate world as well as individuals like ourselves who would like to learn. And the third element of collaboration or rather I would call it more of giving back to the society is, again, we are not all for profit, right? So we also do a lot of free webinars, free seminars. We run a lot of conferences, right? So we recently had the 8th edition of our International Procurement and Supply Chain Conference in Mumbai. Mr. Krishnan was also one of the speakers there. And we have one coming up in Saudi, in Riyadh in October. So we keep doing these conferences once in a quarter, once in 6 months, which is again not for profit. And what we do here is, rather than promoting Blue Ocean and Blue Ocean's products and services, we bring very senior, experienced people from the industry to come and share their perspectives on issues or topics that are of interest to the audience. And this is again a way of connecting and collaborating with individuals and with corporates and bringing the best thought leadership to them, again with no intention of making money.
Thank you very much. So with that note, I would like to open the questions to the audience, and we really appreciate this for your feedback and how could you relate to this particular aspect of education, professional development in your organization. Okay, you pass the mic there, please.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Firstly, thank you for this insightful evening. Very entertaining also. Started with the magic show. Thank you for that. My name is Tarak Mehta. My company is PI Marine. I just want to share that since I've been in Dubai for over 20 years and more than 40 years in the marine industry, I thought it's high time to give back to society, our marine fraternity. So what I've started doing is I have very small niche exclusive events for ship owners, deep sea vessel ship owners. In a hotel like JLT. So what we did in January was SIRE 2.4, which came into implementation after April. So many people weren't really aware of SIRE 2.0. So it was an eye-opener for so many people, and it was so exciting to learn something new. So we had a crowd with youngsters as well as people in their 50s and 60s, all very keen to know and learn and interact with all this. It's a very relaxed Friday evening that I call them. Obviously, drinks and food, and Saturday normally people don't work unless it's an emergency. So it's more of networking, interacting, relaxing, also along with this knowledge. So obviously somebody pays for it, but it's a non-profit, not for me. So the sponsor, I tell them, okay, you get 5 minutes to speak in the end. That's it. And also in May, we had one with the ridership aspects being discussed. A lot of people had this misconception that it's only for tankers. It's not. It's for all kinds of vessels. Surprisingly, even experienced senior people want to wear. So, and now it's actually started like force fire. It's been spreading, and people have been telling me, when's your next one? They're all very excited. So people want to learn. All of us are actually open to learn. And this is my very small way of contributing. And I'm happy to see, the response, and everybody is so happy about wanting to learn and spread this word. So if you absorb this, and it spreads. These people who came are just 25, 30 people, but they go and talk to people and talk about this, and I've been getting calls and messages appreciating the fact that we're doing this for our fraternity. And so I don't go to any institution. It's just my individual. I conceptualized, I implemented this. Of course, PI Marine, my company name comes up. but otherwise it's just the current who's doing this. Thank you.
It's very, very well done, and congratulations on that initiative. And I really like the kind of topics, and definitely, probably the next time we do that, people could be circulated to all the organizations, and that could actually increase, because these are topics which are relevant and very much needed to be renewed, to review, and spread across. Any other questions from the audience?
Just Jamie, I don't think the parents has to be so serious.
We have some
Except for the way all others, they give so much seriousness to the whole. I think we need to have a little bit of smile and laugh also. But that apart, to Kavin's area, we're talking about not institute, but not about the Emirates Association. So can you just elaborate a little bit on the diagnostic training center? And I would like to be associated with that.
Basically, as the Maritime Law Association got panel with CMI. CMI is a global body and only one association per country, and they make all these offshore rules, all the things. Yes. So that establishes we are an EMCC registered organization. When I was called in as a founding member, I was surprised. I first had the same reaction. I said, I'm not a lawyer, what am I doing in an association which has to do with law? But what I liked about the narrative was it's an inclusive organization. What I liked about is that it was hibernating for a very, very long time. And with the new maritime law coming into UAE, this was the right time for it to cross the threshold. And my experience with a few organizations was what was needed to get it across the line, which I was very happy to contribute. I've taken up the position of being a treasurer, which is very nice. I love collecting money. I don't know why, but I just love doing that job. So I've taken up that job of being a treasurer. It keeps me away from all the legalities and all these committees and all so on. But the Emirates Law Association, I think, has a lot of future. We're going to next step get the Ministry of Infrastructure endorse this as the voice of UAE and its surrounding waters and the disputes at the islands and everything. So there's a lot that it encompasses with a lot of offshore activities that happen around UAE. So I think there's a lot of energy around it. And of course, because I'm not a lawyer, I like to get free legal advice. So I like to sit around a table of legal heads. But it's I would recommend anybody who has remotely an interest in claims or have faced a few matters, come and join. It's not a lot. Individual membership is, I think, 1,000 euros or something. Associations and things like that, and non-government bodies, semi-government bodies, lesser. But it's a very nice environment, I think, and it's going to thrive. I believe so. So everyone's welcome. I'm sorry I didn't talk much about it. Krishnan asked me only questions about
savings of data.
Okay, thank you.
So we have a couple of more things for the evening. So we can take one more question from the audience, and then we're always open over and over. We are out here for the audience to take more questions. So please go ahead.
So I don't have any questions or any specific comments to make. I just wanted to thank, basically, to make just a very positive remark on the staff. I started off 30 years ago in the non-trading community, and it was really tough being a woman because it was a very male-dominated environment in the industry. We may have gone a long way. I've seen the industry changing, becoming much more interactive with women. Women have brought a lot. And I have to say that Vista has actually spearheaded and made women more aware of their power in the industry. There's lots of more clubs now that are springing up basically all over the place. in the training community, in the civic community, women gather up. They might be women, they might belong to this industry, so thank you very much. I've enjoyed the Vista community, and we're proud of it, and again, thank you.
So big round of applause to all the panelists here. Thank you, Mr. Madhu, thank you, Dr. Meena, thank you, Captain Zari as usual, and thank you, Mr. William, for those insights. I'm sure there'll be more questions and more items to be discussed, and we will continue the dialogue. Thank you very much.
To all the panelists, and I'm sure I've collected quite a lot of insights, but I just have to mention this, Mr. Vipin, that you typically save 92% of the hours that a student typically spends in the universities. That's just 8%, as you just confirmed. Well done with that. Moving on, we'd like to call upon our treasurer, Mr. Vivek Sharma, to acknowledge our panel members tonight.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Krishnan and the panelists, maybe, do you want to stay a few minutes in the stage to, you would like to acknowledge the speakers? Okay. We have,
Maybe. Give back.
Thank you so much, Dr. Meena. You've truly confirmed that wisdom doesn't just lie in just gaining knowledge, but in its effective application of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
Dr. Madhu? Mr. Madhu, sorry. Thank you so much, Mr. Vipin. There's so much that we've learned, and collaboration is the key, and that's quite clear. Thank you so much, Captain Zari. I'm sure Diane is spending quite a lot of productive time today.
The sense of humor is in the socks.
I had that one.
Moving on, we are super proud to induct our new members who successfully completed the PQB exams. I would like to call upon Chairman, Mr. Ali Khanvi, to give away the certificates. Please, can I call Mr. Jeevan, Mr. KP Srikumar Menon, and Mr. Satish on stage, please. Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations, Krishna. Well done, Satish. So now moving on, we have the most interesting segment of the day. I'm sure we can do another one. Thank you so much. Moving on, I must say, Dubai Shipping Agents Association, along with Mr. Madhu and Dr. Nayana, you've been a long-standing partner and a great supporter of all the initiatives that the ICS Middle East has undertaken so far. So we are super proud and glad that we'll be signing the MOU today. May I call upon Dr. Nayana and Mr. Ali Khanani on stage, please, to sign the MOU. Thank you. I think this partnership truly symbolizes that collaboration is the key, and that's the way forward for continuous professional development as it speaks already. Thank you so much, Dr. Nayana. May I please call you to say a few words? Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It's a great opportunity for us to come and sign the MOU here, even though we are with ICS, I think since its inception. And yes, no doubt, both ICS and DSA has been having a lot of training sessions together, which our members have been appreciating. Therefore, ICS and DSA thought that it's high time we sign the MOU just for the namesake. Whether we sign the MOU or we don't, we are still there to support the ICS always. So thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Ali, a few words from you.
Oh, hello everybody. As I always feel, the blends being shaman here, in this industry, there's very few competitors, they're only collaborators. I'm glad that they're all collaborating to make this better. DSA is very special to me. Nana was the first person who I worked with in the industry. And through mentorship and giving me opportunities, I was able to get more confidence. And then I joined the ICS, but DSA is always close to my heart. So this is a very monumental day for us. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, both of you. And I don't mind repeating that collaboration is the key and competition is probably evaded. Yeah. So today we also celebrate the achievements of our students in the Understanding Shipping program. We spoke a lot about inclusivity. And Understanding Shipping program truly symbolizes that because it doesn't just resonate to people within the core shipping world, but also brings in people who want to learn more about shipping and apply in different aspects, right? So it actually opens door for professionals outside the traditional shipping community, fosters a broader perspective and driving towards higher standards. The most key aspect here is to evolve and remain relevant, which is also what some of our panel members emphasized, and that is so true. So to think beyond conventional boundaries and to raise collective standards together is the key behind this Understanding Shipping program. And I invite all our graduates from cohort 2 to take pride in their accomplishments and who continue to push the envelope, ensuring that the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers remains at the forefront of maritime excellence. So may I please call upon Captain Zareed Irani to acknowledge our graduates from cohort 2, please. May I call upon Aditya Bhatt, Bechara, and Fahan Mohammad Habib, John Goman, Mohammad Atif, Vani Ramshika, and Shreya Kumar on stage, please. Congratulations, everybody.
About shipping is an avenue I could learn specifically what stuff. Temperature calculation, the kind of. Great. You passed. That was a big question. Congrats. Think about it. Great question. What is one thing that you learn sticks right now in your mind? Shipping insurance. Wow, you're my best friend. You become a kid and remember constantly. Well done.
Well done, Shreya. I'm sure we've spoken a
Shreya,
lot
well
about
done.
traveling. Yeah.
What sticks to your mind about learning?
This temperature calculation made.
Second one in a row. Who was teaching that? By the way? Somebody was.
Krishna.
Krishnan. Well done. Thank you. Congratulations. John, what did you learn?
Poetry or graphic art.
Geographic, demographic, where's Panama? Where's Panama? Congratulations. Got it. No, I just want to know what sticks. Thank you.
I'm sure Captain Zavi, if you ask him questions on bill of lading, he can exit.
No, that's good. What did you learn? What sticks in your mind or what is the most valuable?
It was a very nice introduction to shipping. I did not have the background, and the team especially was very welcoming and knowledgeable. So it was a very good experience.
What did you learn?
Well, everything.
In specific?
No, specifically, I learned about the bill of lading, which I use in my current work as well.
Great. That's all. Pass.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bhavani, same question to you. Welcome. What sticks out of all the learning in your mind right now as you're receiving certificate? Everything. One thing. Most valuable. Wasn't a trick question. Everybody else has the same thing. Should I give it or? Doesn't matter. You're freezing. You're not somebody who likes.
I'll bring the temperature of the room down. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Captain.
Congratulations, everyone. Please carry on the learning process. Like you said, learning is a lifelong thing, and we hope you carry on other courses and progress in the career you've started. If you're not a Vista member already, how many of you are not Vista members? Girls? Boys, yes. Boys are all should sign up for Vista. We need more gender equality. Today is a good day actually. But please sign up. Yana. Thank you.
That's a good question. So I could still recollect when Mr. Vipin said we focus on potential business outcomes. And I must say within the Understanding Shipping program, we also focus on potential individual outcomes and making sure we reflect back on the case studies of our individuals and our students, where Mr. Vichara just explained about the bill of lading. I'm sure if he's got a few more minutes, he would have explained. But there's a lot of savings that he could make in the process of creating invoice and also making sure, bill of lading is done effectively. Now, I would like to also take this opportunity to thank our sponsors tonight. Their unwavering support and commitment has ensured that every event that we do is quite innovative and we remain accessible and is always of the highest quality. So we extend our heartfelt gratitude to our sponsors for their dedication and partnership. And your support is not just appreciated, it's indispensable to our continued growth and success. Thank you to our platinum sponsors, Global Westar Shipping LLC, Islamic P&I Club, Transbulk International Shipping LLC, Alliance Marine, Rais Hazan Saudi Group, Ship Connects, TMC Shipping Middle East. Special thanks to our award sponsors, Al Sharif Group, Bahrain, Atlantic Global Shipping LLC, Cloud TNCC, Midstar Shipping FZE, TT Club Mutual Insurance Limited, Red Pearl Logistics LLC, AHM Marine LLC. Anchor sponsor, Al Rashid International Shipping Company Kuwait, and our support sponsors, Inter-Orient Maritime DMCC, GSPL DMCC, Transcoral Shipping LLC, Halska, National Shipping Services LLC, Nautical Crankers DMCC, Ugro Shipping LLC, and Seamaster. For those interested in becoming a sponsor and contributing to all our future events, please reach out to our admins, Natasha and Alicia. Your support can definitely make a significant difference in shaping our future and to the industry and to build a sense of community that we already have. So may I now call upon our General Secretary, Mr. Ravi Shankar, to the stage, please, and deliver the thank you note. Thank you so much.
Good evening again, everybody, and thanks a lot. I thank everybody present here of the ICS ME. As we grow, along with all the members, all the community members, and all the organizations that we have been formally partnered, a couple of them are still not partnered, but moving forward, we'll be partnering. So we want the very time standard, very time knowledge of the industry to grow. So thanks for coming again, and I think most of the people who registered were there. So thanks again. Have a great evening. Bye bye.
I think I just forgot to mention, but I think it's worth mentioning that we have cricket players, table tennis, and other indoor sports. Nautical Institute is organizing an event on the 1st of September, but I would like Captain Zarif to reflect a few more aspects that's probably missing in the slide.
No fees for Team ICS. So championship programs, because they are affiliated and MOU partners with the Nautical Institute. This is our first event after summer, and we're having an indoor sports event. So we're getting 2 players plus 1 as Team ICS, first come, first serve basis. Football 5-a-side, cricket, everything is on the 1st of September, Sunday morning, we're starting at 9. So please write to Natasha and fight it out before you sign up. Every associate member, organization putting up 1 team out of the 4 sports we're having on that day. So please sign up. We want Team ICS to win because I'm getting your tie today. But then we are not going to do team as well. So you might have. But then organizations are also having teams put up. You can choose either one or all 4, but organizations have to pay a fee to participate, 500 for table tennis and badminton each, and 1,500 for indoor football and cricket. So please go back to your organizations. It's a nice team building exercise. It's air conditioned inside, but you're made to sweat nevertheless. You're playing sports. So welcome, and we look forward to having Team ICS for all 4 sports. Thank you very much. Sandwiches also. And our next ICS event will be put up on the screen. It's on the 11th of September. It is on energy, marine, finance, strategies. A lot of local banks are coming up. A lot of funds which are coming up. So please go back if your organization needs to know how to raise funds locally. This will be a good one to attend. It's also going to be our ICS AGM. So the flyer will come up, and when you're around, have a look at that on the way out. Thank you very much.